What's up, everybody? Well, the one person that's in here right now looks like it's Blakers.
What's
We'll
up,
get some
guys?
people rolling in. But this week we got Levi over that way, and we got Chris down there at the bottom. These two make up sexin and flexin. And I got that right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because that whole thing's a little confusing. I don't know if you know that, but
Yeah, we do.
Celtic Reptiles came back in. What's up, dude?
Yeah, talk to that
Laker.
fucking guy.
Blaker says, what's up? I want to know about this comment. Eden's Den said, have fun tonight, guys. And remember, Chris, we'll meet you in the back of PetSmart's dumpster just so you can give them crabs. I mean, I don't know what that's about, but I had to point that out to you.
I went to PetSmart, man. I went to buy a crab, and then they started saying I went behind PetSmart to get crabs.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, hey, rumors do start.
Yeah, and that guy that said it is the one that started the rumor.
It happens. I mean, as long as it's in good fun. I mean, if we're talking about, just some good old crabs, it's all right,
Yeah, because I bought a crab for my niece, and it died.
Well, you bought it from PetSmart. I mean,
yeah, I know.
That was your first thing.
Well, when you take her to the PetSmart store, she's like, I want this and I want that. So I was like, you want a crab for real? She's like, yeah. So I bought her a crab.
I get it. I would have probably did the same thing. So, all right. I told YouTube, and I'm going to have to tell everyone else, there is a rat that got loose that's in this cupboard behind me. If you see me looking that way, or if I end up diving that way, I'm trying to catch him. So I'm not just staring off into space.
No, you go, bro. I know the struggle, man. Trust me. I've had rats get loose on me. I don't know how many times.
I mean, it sounds like he's chewing through a wall right now. Like, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's starting to piss me off.
All right, Ken. So, podcaster to podcaster moment here. Do you work with anything besides ball pythons?
No, I do not. Not at the moment. I'm just doing. I'm new to this, dude. Like, I started this last year, last March, and I kind of use this as a marketing tool as well as a learning tool.
Okay, I got you, bro. Well, I'll tell you right now, man. If you end up stepping into a bigger species that's more predatory, more less scared of its food. No offense. Well, I guess all shit talking intended. Any rats I've had loose, man, I let my mainland go. I just let her do her thing, man, and it's game on, dude. I've never seen a snake so willing to go after something from across the room, man. And it ever since then, the one time, because I was holding her and there was one running around the garage, and she just went up off of me and started looking around. I was like, oh, you know what? That thing got loose a week ago. Let's see what happens. And pop! Dude, not even 5 minutes later, I hear that. Squid, 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 squid.
That's awesome. Like, I don't know, mate. Well, you got a retic I could use for a week.
If you got a fierce ball python, you know exactly where it's at, man. You can always see if it'll pick it up.
Right. Bosa, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming in. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with how I do things. We start to show off is what I do is I look on the Morph Market News, because who really looks at Morph Market News? You actually do?
Well, I don't.
Because, I mean, I do. And there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. And I'd figure I'd bring it to people. Sometimes there's not really much on there. Like, you go through a week and there's nothing. You know what I mean? There might be a couple things in the community. But this week they had two really good things that I've seen. And they're adding a new add, edit animal page. And with this add, edit animal page, they're doing this like sale option. So when you're selling your things one time per, what does it say? One time per cycle. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess there's different cycles. I don't know how long the cycles are. I guess I should have researched that. But do you know how long a Morph Market cycle is?
No, how long is that?
So I don't know. Like I said, I was just asking. It's probably like 3 or 4 times a year. How long do they renew your post? Like they said a couple months ago, I think it's every 3 to 4 months. I wasn't sure on that, and I didn't want to say that. But they'll renew your animals every so often to where they go back up to the front, so they're not just caught in the mix. but one time per cycle, they're going to allow you for 72 hours to put your animal on sale and like offer a sale and promote it actually. And this is going to be done on this new edit animal page. So it's more of a marketing thing that's coming out. There's different things you could do through it. You know, I could go through and read them, but it's really just common sense features with, you know, being able to mark for a sale. If you're trying to promote a sale, they're kind of making it easy for you.
I was like, Blaker says every quarter.
All right, yeah, every quarter. So, you know, 3 times a year or 4 times a year. Yeah, you could put your animals on sale. Anyone else? New plan? That's all. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was a cool feature. I mean, just like, you know, if you want to sell your animals every, you know, 4 times a year, you could, you know, offer a sale and see if they move. It's 72 hours, I believe it runs. Yeah, sales are 72 hours. The seller cannot activate sale on. All right, so you can activate the sale on one animal, several animals, or all animals. You don't have to just say, all right, this animal's on sale. You can actually distinguish each animal, whether it's on sale or not.
Okay. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's anything to make the site easier to work with, or anything that gives you another option that just to try to sell your snakes is going to be beneficial. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. But the other thing that they had on there, and I thought this was really cool because, I mean, I knew they definitely pushed the NARBC shows, but they put a map of the Schaumburg show, and they put it out the 25th of July. The show was the 29th and the 30th. And what this allowed you to do is, for one, there was a map, so you could see where you're going. And for two, they actually listed what animals are going to be for sale there.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just thought that was cool. I mean, if you went there and hit ball pythons, it was listed every ball python that they was going to have for sale there. And I just thought that was awesome. I mean, I sat there and played with it for about 3 hours looking at the animals that was on sale at Schaumburg this weekend. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, but I think that benefits them, the people there at the reptile show or the expo, because if somebody snags an animal, you know.
For sure. I mean, I just go back and look which animal it was. Good idea. What's up, nerd? Thanks for coming in. John Anquilon, what's up, dude?
What's up, John?
All right, that's you. I was like, FTL. Is that Florida? What? Oh, I ain't Florida. That's Levi. What the hell am I doing? What up, Carlos?
What's up, Elevated?
So, yeah, I mean, I guess they're going to start doing this for all of the NARBC shows, but I would recommend definitely check it out, even if you're not going to the show. They do offer, you know, some lower prices that they're going to see on a normal, you know, platform like Morph Market. I think it's just awesome. I'd say check it out. For sure, even just go back and look at it, because I don't know if it's erased. I guess it's still there. I didn't look, but go back and check it out. It's pretty cool.
I know they have the same thing for the Reptilian Nation Expo that's coming this weekend. I'll be there this weekend.
Awesome. I'll have to check that out too.
I'll be with DNT Retics.
DNT Retics?
Yeah.
Right. So you said you was up in Pennsylvania recently, huh, Chris?
Yeah, I went out there to go visit family. I have family out there.
Oh, cool.
That's where I was at, on the shady side, right there. You're like, I don't know where that is.
Well, I mean, after you said it, I was kind of thinking about it, and yeah, now I kind of know where it's at. It's down on like kind of the southern side of Pittsburgh. They call South Side, down near there, Oakland and Squirrel Hill and Swickley, I think, is out that way. Plum, maybe. I mean, I kind of know the area. I grew up near there. Like, I grew up a half hour south of Pittsburgh. So, like, all these, you know, shady side, whatever, I was thinking there was sunny side. There's different names, you know, that are up here, down here, that I kind of know where they're at and kind of remember them, but really don't. You know what I mean? But
what I like about theirs, though, When we stay there, I can walk to the gym. Like everything's walking distance.
Yeah, a lot of it is like, it's a big city that you could jump, on trains and stuff. There's transit to get you places where you
I
can
saw.
walk.
I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cooler out there, man. It's not as hot as like
Well,
it
when
is
you
down
get down
here.
by the river, it does cool off.
So I was like, hell yeah, I could walk this all day.
Go sit on the south side of the stage in a Steelers game when the sun's bright. You'll change your mind because that sun don't leave you. It beats on you. Don't ever buy seats on the south side of the stadium.
Well,
It's
it's
not.
good that I'm not a Steelers fan.
I'm just getting anyone it is. Like if it's a hot day, you're gonna just be a marshmallow. You might as well go over and stand, where they hold all the signs out, on them stairs. When people put the signs, you might as well go stand in the shade over there because it ain't worth it. It really
I
ain't.
was like, we played each other. I'm a Bengal fan, so.
No. What's up with Burrow? Burrow,
I
I
don't know.
mean, that sucks though. You know what I mean? Like, what year was it? Carson Wentz was doing good, and then Timo Van Oelhoffen takes his leg out. I mean, there's just a lot of history between the Bengals and the Steelers. So I really don't care what happens to your quarterback.
Yeah, I know he's hurt, but whatever. He'll come back. He'll bounce back. I'm not worried about it.
Levi, who's your team? So we got to talk about football.
He don't have a football team.
You
I really
don't?
don't. I mean, if I had to choose a default, it's going to be the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't mind the Cardinals because they're like the Steelers NFC. You get all the people that we don't want. We just ship them to Arizona.
Sounds about right.
I mean,
it's so true.
but you do get people like Calvin Beachum that's still a staple right tackle for you, and we need a tackle bad. I mean, we could have used him the last 5-6 years. I mean, he's a bad piece. We should never got rid of him. And Javon
Levi's a hockey guy.
I like hockey too. There ain't nothing wrong with some hockey. I'm a Pens fan all day. I mean, I watch the Penguins.
Oh, hell. Here we go.
I mean, hey, that team's been mismanaged for years. We should have won, 6-7 cups instead of the 3 that we got. I mean,
I don't know hockey, so y'all can
once
talk about
Crosby
that.
checks his ego at the fucking door and lets Malkin do his fucking job, maybe.
you're probably right. I mean,
Man, I love Crosby. He's a great player, but man, the ego on that guy.
I was thinking maybe we should have drafted Ovechkin instead of Malkin.
Oh, bro. Oh, man. I would like to see that. I would have liked Ovechkin to have landed on a better team. Oh, hell no. There's Bruin fans in here. Hell.
I mean,
there's a
that
Bruin
whole
nation.
thing was crazy.
About the Florida Panthers, though. About the Florida Panthers, dog. Oh, man. I know I'm a Coyotes fan, but god damn, bro.
That team just seems to come out of nowhere certain years and just whomps everybody. That's like the Tampa Bay Lightning, what they do to us. Like Tampa Bay is a thorn in our side. New Jersey had a stent with being thorns in our side. I don't know. Hockey, it's just really interesting sport. The Penguins have been mismanaged for years. We should have many more cups. I mean, you won a lottery and got Sidney Crosby, and in his career, you only got 3 cups out of it. I don't know. I think it's a loss.
I agree, man, but it's ups and downs. I mean, I think the Avs should have won the cup multiple years in a row, but it wasn't there. The team wasn't as put together as it was in, what was it, 22 that they won the cup, 21?
Right.
It's always that you got to have the perfect formula. You got to have the perfect health. I mean, Chris always talks shit about football players, but look at Matthew fucking Tkachuk, bro. Played two games with a broken sternum.
Yeah, Tkachuk's a beast, dude.
Bro, I played 2 games with a broken ankle.
Wow.
Dude, that's like every day for them, bro.
Yeah, I know. I mean, his dad was a beast too, Keith Tkachuk. He wasn't no pushover.
Agreed.
I go all the way back to like the 80s and 90s with hockey. I mean, Brian Trottier was an Islander when I started watching hockey.
Holy shit, we're going back, bro. Hell yeah.
I mean,
Ooh, man.
to bring up his name, like Brian Trottier is my all-time favorite Penguin player ever. I mean, over anyone, because when we was kids, teenagers, I lived down near there, we used to go get signatures. And I tell you what, Trottier came out one night he signed everything we had and sat there and talked with us for like 45 minutes. Like, just the guy, he's a class act. Just Brian Trottier, class act. You ever meet him, you're going to think the same.
Agreed, man. I've heard great things on, off the ice. A leader on, a leader off. Great person on, great person off. And to give it to Nerd, man, I got to give it to Patrice Bergeron for his age and the injuries that he sustained. Chris, talk about a broken ankle. That dude had, what was it, a broken knee, 2 sprained ankles, and torn ligaments in his shoulder, and he still played all 7 games.
Hey, I'm coming out of retirement, bro. I'm gonna go play one more year. I am.
No.
I am.
So, I mean,
Chris gets hurt, I'll host the show. Don't worry.
Hold it down. All right, so I guess we should get back into ball pythons and get around to some questions. I mean, I can sit here and talk sports all night. We can just throw this thing the fuck away and we can talk sports. I mean, I don't know if the audience is going to like it, but I could definitely talk some sports.
This May Serpents was like Raiders was mine, but they moved. They cheated on Oakland. That's sad.
Moved to Nevada with the rest of the losers. Oh,
I know. Why Vegas?
Oops.
So I could catch up on this chat because we was bullshitting. Why don't you guys explain who yins are and how yins got into this habit and how long yins been doing it? I don't care who goes first.
Levi's gonna go first.
Oh man, who I am.
Who you are. You is.
I'm Levi with FTL Reptiles. For those that don't know me, if you don't know me, I am the controversial one out of the two of us.
I like
very
controversial.
well known by one of our favorite people in the community right now. My name is Cycling Everywhere. It's a good time. I love it. Man, I'm a boa enthusiast first and foremost. Man, it's boas over everything. I've successfully bred a couple of things. Corn snakes being the first. I've had a clutch of eggs with ball pythons. Started with the ball pythons like everybody else. Got out of it because I'm not chasing money. That's what I felt like I was doing with it, and just went headfirst into colubrids. Fell in love with them. Got into boas, man, and shout out to Patrick Scarlett at Graceful Serpents, man. I will forever be grateful for this man because he started the bug. He sold me my first one. I still have her, and it's just been a roll, bro. Just ever since. I've never had a fire burn as bright as it does for boas. It's something deep down in my soul. I love these snakes in specific. The colors, the mores, the localities, the options are endless. There's still so much to learn about them. They're up and coming. Man, but that's where my heart is. And again, on the podcast side, I'm the controversial asshole on the podcast. I speak my mind, and I don't care what the results of it are. I'm going to speak my piece, love me or hate me. I stand 10 toes down on what I say, but I'm also not afraid to admit when I make myself look like an ass.
There you go. I mean, I kind of tell people the way it is, and I'm sure there's going to be a time or two. It hasn't happened yet, and I'm surprised that I just tell people how I feel, and it's a disagreement. But I mean, I feel you, brother.
Okay, I'm Chris, and I'm from Flexin and Finesse and Reptiles. I'm the other half of Sexin and Flexin. Yeah.
There you go. Get them gun shows out.
So I stay neutral. I'm the neutral one.
All right.
I kind of balance this out. So that's what I do. When he gets a little too controversial and it starts getting heated, I try to balance it out. That's what I do on the pod. You would say ball pythons were life for me, but I met Levi and DNT retics. They put a retic in my hand, and that was it, man. I fell in love with a retic. So, I got 2 retics now. Never thought that would happen, but I got 2 of them now. I still have some ball pythons. I'm trying to get out of them now because I have successfully breeded ball pythons. I've had a banana calico, head ghost, head pied, babies already. They're all gone.
What's up, V?
And I successfully bred leopard geckos, beard dragons. That's about it. But I own more than that. I own rainbow boas, sand boas, cicadas, I got tons of species in my like reptile room. Yeah.
Awesome.
I got a crocodile gecko.
So kind of my thing against retics is I don't have anyone here that's going to help me if this thing gets angry. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel a retic is a 2-person snake. I mean, you're a big dude, but if that thing gets mad, like, angry or wants to, have a bad reaction or a pissy day, that's my only bad thing against it. I don't think I could take care of an 18-foot animal. And if I feed that thing like I like to feed my ball pythons once a week, as big as meals they want to take, that thing's going to get 18 feet. I mean, if I would get to experience, maybe that would change. But as of right now, I don't have the experience. I don't feel comfortable handling this bigger female ball python I have now because she's like 6 foot long and like that round. Like, she gets a little, uncomfortable for me. But outside of that fear of a big snake like that's what stops me from going bigger than a ball python. I just don't think I have the experience yet to have a retic. Not that I don't think they're great. I mean, if I get enough comfortability with these ball pythons, maybe I'll want a bigger snake. Maybe I'll want a berm or a retic. And that happens. I've heard it happen. Many things. They start off with ball pythons, and I want to, I want a retic. I want a berm, and they get into it. I mean, I think a retic is definitely something you have to work up to. I don't think the first time owner should start out with a retic. If you never hold a snake in your life, a retic's not for you.
I would agree with you.
Other than that, I have nothing against retics or berms.
So let me adjust that a little bit. So Chris and myself are heavily into the super dwarf for ticks.
Yes, okay. I was gonna correct myself too. Sorry.
I do own a mainland. I work with mainlands. I've got many hands-on experiences with the biggest of the a-holes that I've held. I've had gentle giants. I've worked with a couple of berms. I got real hands-on before I got the mainland. Knew what I was up against. The 2-person rule is always a good rule to follow. I know there are plenty of keepers out there that have managed to break that rule. And again, I don't advise it, but I am one of those people that are definitely I let my wife know, like, hey, I'm going out in the garage and I am handling Pennywise. If something goes wrong, check on me every 5-10 minutes or so. I mean, if she really wants to get a hold of me, I don't think 2 people would even really stop a mainland from doing what they're going to do.
Right.
It's not allowing it to come down to that, man. You got to know your animals, whether you're working with a boa, a 6-foot ball python, you're working with venomous. You just have to know your animal. There's every trigger in the world to know that something's about to go wrong. And you just have to be vigilant, man. That's the difference between these animals and a fuzzy little cat. And even with the cat, like, you got to know your cat's triggers. You know what I mean? Like, it's an importance that we don't stress. We're so busy talking about morphs and this and that and getting, complacent. People step into something that's a little bit more advanced and they don't realize that those triggers are critical. Your animal's behaviors are critical. Husbandry, man. Husbandry is so important with boas, retics, even some of the more spicy colubrids, man, that have more of an attitude. Your snake's attitude reflects like their care. If you got a mainland that's in bad shape, it's not going to be a loving animal. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to come out and act chill and cool with you. It's going to reflect its care, man. If it's in a small enclosure, it's crammed up, it's bored, it wants to get out, it wants to play, wants to move around, and it's not going to allow you to stop it because the one time it comes out, it's going to water and then go back in its enclosure. Like, it's not the move, man. And mainlands they're a lot of work, man. Even some of the super doors get big. I mean, 14, 15 feet. The girth is really where the difference in the animals are. The super doors aren't as girthy, not as heavy. They are just as freaking strong, though, man. I'll tell you what. I held Jeremiah over at CMB Reptile this last weekend. That boy was pulling me around like I was nothing. I'm a big boy. I got some weight on me, but Jeremiah grabbed onto the enclosure on the inside. That snake pulled me, bro. There wasn't no stopping him. He wanted to go. We were going. You don't decide where the retic is going. You move with the retic and you work with the animal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a good time, though.
I don't know if you've seen that question, but what is your opinions on hybrids?
Oh, don't even get Levi started.
Who has a goddamn hybrid squad? No,
well, I mean, I seen Chris pointing down laughing, so I was kind of thinking that was going to be something just to get you to talk about. So Smay asked it. I mean, I didn't think of asking. That's all Smay. But
totally against unnatural hybrids, man. If it happens in the wild, I'm for it because it's a naturally occurring hybrid. Like there's nothing you can do to stop nature, but there's a lot of risk to it, man. I don't like it. I don't support it. I'm not open to it. Hybridizing animals, mudding up the bloodlines, mixing things together that have no business being together. It just doesn't. It's us playing God, in my opinion. I don't see a necessity for it in the hobby right now. Now, if we end up, let's say we lose to the Lacey Act and we end up getting locked down with what we got, hybridization may be the only option. That's a conversation that could be had at that time. But until that happens, man, I can't get behind it. It's right. It's not in the cards for me. If you do it, cool. Like I'm not gonna like cancel you or fucking talk shit about you, but I don't support it. I'm not for it.
And me on the other hand, I think it's awesome.
I mean, I'm kind of up in the air about it because I look at it as that we got enough to do with interspecies before we need to go outer species and start making all these other morphs. I mean, like even in clown right now, like clowns, you think it's tapped out. If you start looking on Morph Market or start putting in like these different combinations with double recessives, like it hasn't even hit the tip of the iceberg in the double recessive range in some things. I mean, a pastel hypo clown isn't that cool, but let me make a blackhead Mojave black pastel, like, you know, let me put 5 or 6 genes in there or whatever and have a hypo clown, then put Pied or Desert Ghost or Xanthic even in it. Like just the tip of the iceberg is, you know, going with the ball pythons now, and I don't think hybridization is needed. Now, Levi did bring a good point up. If this Lacey Act comes out to where we can only have what we have and can't expand more, then yeah, maybe that's where we have to go.
Absolutely, man, and that's a conversation. That's a good segue into a conversation that we could have. Rodney brought up on the Trap Talk podcast, man, with the super dwarves, the mainlands, some of the Australian species. That's a conversation that we need to start having now. Is that we are eventually going to run out of F1 blood in those species. Right. You know, there are keepers that are still managing to import, however they do it. I'm not against them. It is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. But even that route, there's not enough of them coming in. It is a conversation that the hobby needs to start having. You know, instead of bickering amongst one another and arguing and doing the bullshit that we're doing and constantly fighting the government on the Lacey Act and FWC doing what they do out there in Florida, shoving nail guns and boas over ticks' heads. We need to get our act together, really unionize together and stand up, get out on the forefront of these things, get more proactive, less reactive, to where we are to a proactive state where we can approach Australia, we can approach Indonesia, we can approach some of these countries with either USARC or another government entity that we have made from this hobby to represent us, to go in and go, hey, what do we need to do to conserve animals and be able to import them again? Because eventually carpets will become an issue. It's not if, it's when. Yeah. Bertics, mainlands. It's not if, it's when. We can't import them anymore. Super dwarfs. It's not if, it's when. Those are just three of the more popular species out there that eventually we're going to run out of wild type blood. Like there's none coming in. The hobby continues to grow every day. Supply and demand is a very simple concept to understand. Right. I mean, I've brought this up before on you know, my podcast in the past. I think we, as you know, the community of breeders, need to kind of set up, maybe even vote one person per state. You know what I mean? To represent us. If that one person really can't do the whole state, maybe divide some of the bigger states up in 4 or 5 representatives, but have solid representatives from each state that's ready and, you know, ready to go. If they need to go kind of, you know, support our hobby, you know, we need good, spoken people to go to these, you know, senators and your, you know, state representatives, and to be able to convince those guys that, you know, they just need to leave this alone. This isn't a problem.
The problems that happen in Florida mainly come from natural disasters and not shitty keepers. And that's kind of how I feel about things.
No, absolutely, man. I back you 100% on that. That's fact. One of the biggest issues that we've seen is what happened with that facility in the hurricane and the retics and the berms getting out. It is something that we as keepers need to account for, though. But moving forward, I mean, we got to learn from our mistakes, right? Like we saw a flaw,
Exactly.
we fix it. And no, I completely support you in that, man. And to your viewers that don't know us, something that we have pushed, and I would like to get away from the bullshit that I'm involved in. Because trust me, I'm stirring the pot right now, and I understand that I'm just as fault as the other person. Again, I'm not afraid to admit when I make myself look like an ass, and going after that person probably wasn't my smartest decision with what I'm trying to push. And looking back, I probably should have kept my mouth shut. Anyways,
I kind of feel that like personal issues should be brought up in DMs, and it shouldn't be on a live format, like to where people could rewatch that and see that 100 times over if that person chooses to leave that up there. If I have an issue with someone, I'm going to go to their DMs and go, hey, look, this is the issue. This is the problem. Now what? You know what I mean? And I think that's how it should be handled. And I see a lot of it, people trying to call people out, like, in a public forum. And that's no good for this hobby. We need to portray ourselves as we're all together. We're all one. We need to start being all one. If you're in this for 20 years, if you're in this for 2 months and you're really balls to the wall wanting to do this, all of us need to come together as a community and stand up, because they're going to take our shit someday. If we don't, solve these little stupid issues that we have between us. I mean, maybe it's not the ball python, but maybe it's, the retic or the berm that's just going to be totally wiped out, and we can't have them. I mean, and if they do the retic and the berm, the ball python's right around the corner. I mean, they're just going to keep whacking it and making the smaller. Yep. They don't care about our livelihoods. If you're doing this as a livelihood, they don't care that it's your most favorite hobby in the world, that you can't live without these things. These people don't care. They're not here doing it. They think these snakes are like, scary, mean creatures. I mean, we got to pull together. We got to pull together somehow. We got to get through these little differences and stop the stupid bickering shit. And, especially on live forums, because how do you think people's going to take it better if you pull them aside and say, hey, or if you're calling them out in front of 10 of their friends? You know what I mean? They're going to take it better if you pull them to the side. And I think that's how it all should be done. And that's my opinion. They're like assholes. We all got one. So.
No, that's facts, man. I agree. The fighting and the bickering ain't doing us no good, whether it's justified or unjustified. It don't matter.
Just chilling.
And another thing I don't like to see, I'm sorry if I offend someone with this, but I've been a really big spokesperson on this. I don't like to see people handling these venomous snakes without hooks or gloves. Like free handling these things. Like some people can do it. Some people can do it and look confident and not have any close calls and be smooth and fluid. But there's some people that I watch do this stuff that just almost got bit there. Almost got bit there. Like 5 or 6 times. It's like now from the camera we're seeing this angle. We're not seeing how close it is. I mean, it looks like my hand's almost hitting this book, but it's a foot away. Mm-hmm. We don't see that on camera. It looks like you almost got bit, and that's not a good look for this community at all.
Definitely.
Please, man. It's I've always equated it to playing with a loaded gun on camera. You know what I mean? You just don't do it. It's not something that's. It's not something that's okay. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's literally the same equivalency, except you control a gun, you don't control a live animal. So
exactly.
I've even had people argue that it's more dangerous to play with a venomous animal than it is to play with a loaded gun. And I see what they're saying. You're dealing with a living animal. Like, they're creatures too. Like, they're unpredictable. Things can go wrong, and we don't need that happening on camera and getting out for the general public to see. It's the same beef I got with prehistoric death. Never going to shut up about that guy, man. It's a sensational BS. It's all nonsense. It's all reckless endangerment of the animal and yourself. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And
honestly, I couldn't agree with you more on it. I mean, please just use gloves, use a hook. I mean, I don't care if you got 20 years experience with it. Like, you're not trying to show a person that likes snakes this. You're trying to show a person that hates it that this is safe. And it's not a good look.
Exactly. And there may come a time, like, Dingo out there in South Africa.
Yeah,
he's in South Africa. Yeah,
I've seen a couple of his, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, come on, dude, seriously, well, hold on. You really think this is good for the community?
So, well, it's tough for them. You got to give him a little. You got to give him a get out of jail free card because he's in another.
I was gonna pull out the female, but she's in shit.
He's in another country, so out there, their views on the snakes and the community is very, very different.
They're crazy Australians. They're just like, oh, like, pick this bugger up and let's, show you his teeth. They're ballsy, and I get it, and they have the experience of doing it. But I mean, you got to think about it from the eyes of the person that don't like reptiles. You got to please them, and it's not a good look. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, agreed, and I'm hoping that one day we get to like the status that he's in his country, where it's viewed by the general public like, all right, cool, you're going to do stupid things that's on you, and if they get bit, the hospital don't cover them. They got to cover everything on their own. They have to take care of themselves. They got to have their own anti-venom, and that's really the way it should be here too. But it's not, and that's why people frown upon that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we're not. I honestly don't think that somebody really is going to give a crap if there's no repercussion to X, Y, and Z getting bit by a king cobra. If they're paying for the consequences literally financially on their own and on their own. You know what I mean? Like, you're on your own, homie. Like, you do what you do and you're on your own. The hospital's not going to pay for your bills. The taxpayer's not going to pay for your bills. And the ambulance ain't going to show up to administer you anti-venom. Like, you got to do it yourself. You got to know. You got to have all the precautions. If you're not and you pass away, well, that's on you, man. Like, you and whoever your power of attorney is, like, that's something they got to work out. Like, it's unfortunate, but you decided to do it. You were warned against it. It's definitely not the smartest thing in the world to do. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be the same thing as playing with a loaded gun. If I'm twirling a 45 in my hand, it goes off and I shoot myself, I should be responsible for that. I decided to pick the gun up and be fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to do it. I cherish my life a little bit too much for stupid shit like that. And
exactly,
I don't want other people paying for my fucking stupid ass consequences. I ain't got money to fucking pay the hospital.
What's up, Elias?
Say my dumbass. What up, Creative Elias, my dudes? That's the way I look at it.
We got way off topic there, but I thought that was more interesting to talk about than some questions. So we might skip over a couple of these here and there.
But, this is what we do. We
hell yeah. I love it. What social media platforms do you guys use, and like, what are your future plans with them?
Oh God, you go first, Chris. You're the social media person.
Yeah, I'm the social media guy. Levi just doesn't do social media at all, so I use.
Excuse you. I do it like once every 3 or 4 days. Okay.
Okay, whatever. I use TikTok. I use Facebook, YouTube. What else? I used to use Vero before it disappeared, or before I installed that thing. But yeah, that was about it, I think. Right? That's all of it. I had a Twitter, but now Twitter changed to something else.
I still got Twitter. I didn't know.
Yeah, Twitter changed to X now.
No, is it X? I don't know. I know I got an account, and when I make my banners and stuff, I put it over there with my YouTube address on it. I don't know. It goes straight there.
I never thought of doing that. I need to start doing that.
Well, I use UCut. It's called UCut, and then when you save it, you got an option to like put it on YouTube, and then put it on Instagram, and then put it on Twitter, and then you put it on Facebook. I just cross-reference it to all my accounts, and then you can put a title on it, and then I put my YouTube tag there, and come over to YouTube, watch episode 24. Come on, get over here. It don't look like it worked much tonight, but who cares? What is a short-term goal you have with your reptiles?
Mm-hmm. Short-term goal with my reptiles. I don't know.
I kind of skipped Levi on that last question because he just kind of went, and said it like I'm only on it for every other day or whatever. So we
I'm
don't
gonna
need
let
to
him
know.
go first on this one.
I focus on posting, but I'm so fucking inconsistent about it, man. That's why I only have 1,000 followers. And I had said it on a previous podcast as related to the beef that I'm currently involved in. I don't care about social media. I really don't. Take my Instagram, take my Facebook, take my TikTok. I'm gonna survive.
So Jeremy,
be fine tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. Of course, I half-ass it. I post every 3 or 4 days, or when I remember, I'll be like, oh, let me post a picture of the snake.
You got that before me, Chris. Just saying. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. But he said, "What's up, Jeremy?" And then fucking, I was looking down. I'm like, "Ain't no comment." Then Warples popped up.
Good episode on sexin and flexin, Jeremy. Shout out to Boza. You too quiet. But I'll take over the reptile question on that one. Chris answered the other one. I can answer this one. Man. So first and foremost, shout out to my fam, my loved ones over at CMB Reptile. Me and Bill partnered up on a project, one of the biggest ones I have anticipated. I don't talk about it enough, so this is a great opportunity to. And 666 brought up the size of the Reptiles. These super doors they're bigger. They're not super tiny. I anticipate a larger size super dwarf out of them, which I'm excited for. I like the larger species. They're both het G stripes, and there's one other person in the project with us. It's not a rat race to who's going to get to it. It's going to be a world first and a world second. If he gets to it, hats off, salute. We'll follow right back up with another clutch, and hopefully we both hit the odds. We want visuals. There's a chance that they're both hets, so there's a chance that both of us prove out absolutely nothing. I honestly hope that one of us proves out the visual for the G-Stripe project in Super Dwarf. Obviously, it'd be badass if we get it first. Badass for him if he gets it first. But regardless, it's first and second clutches. I'm super excited to see what it comes out as, man. We haven't seen G-Stripe in the Super Dwarf project yet. So that is what my plan is as far as the Super Dwarfs, my biggest, most anticipated project. With the boas, man, it's just head on. I've got some projects that I'm super excited for. Obviously, I want to be known for the boas. It's what I do. It's what I love. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Chad, Sherman Reptiles. All get fucking Brad Sherman's Reptiles. CMB, all the supporters and what the boa projects I'm working with. Want to get those off the ground. I'm not working with World's First. I'm not working the Scoria or anything fucking crazy like the Boa Kid and a few other big name boa breeders, Russo. I'm just working projects I love, man, and that's what I want to be known for. Something that I absolutely love, and the projects I do have, like the Red Pastel, man. It's not a common enough pastel to really be like that, big clout chasing breeding project. But it's big enough that I love it, and it's big enough. It's pretty enough, man, that I'm super excited for what's to come. And then everything else is just basically the fun projects. You know what I mean? Like I got African house snakes, super excited for that just because I like African house snake. I'll hold all of them back. I'll keep those forever. I love those little snakes, man.
Nice.
They're a nice break from the giants.
All right. I don't know if you've seen that comment. But 666 says, "Can tell Levi about undercover trying to trade me a retic for a ball." And he goes, at a show in a retic illegal state.
What the hell? How the hell is that even possible?
What state are you in?
He said Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
Oh, hell. Y'all's game of fish is out of control, bro. Undercovers like that, trying to set up.
Here in I don't know when exactly we're doing it, but Smace Serpents just had a clutch of corn snakes, and we're going to do a race. For one of them, it was an Okatee Het Snow corn snake that he made. So he's going to be giving away a corn. They're pretty cool looking. I mean, go check them out. He just hatched I think 15 of them survived. But yeah, they're pretty cool. So what is a long-term goal you guys got? Say 10 years. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I'm about to get a shop here soon, just waiting for the approval. So hopefully I get my shop up.
So you're going try to make a reptile shop, basically.
Well, Yeah, I want to do like a little reptile thing, but I want to do like an educational shop, like where people can come in and we talk about the retics, the balls, everything I have right now. So
He's given away 2, and 14 of them made it. So nice.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a nice snake, man. It's definitely going to be a nice pair.
They are decent looking snakes. I mean, they're really vibrant. I mean, some of them, I think it's the snow influence. I mean, I'm not big on corn snakes, but they're like really light pattern. They look like kind of purplish with like a light pattern, and they have like yellow dots going down the back. And then he's got the crazy red, orange, and yellow ones going everywhere. I mean, and they're pretty cool looking snakes.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, that's the first calibers I've bred. The only ones I've bred so far have been corn snakes. They're fun, man. They're an interesting species, and that's, man. Shout outs, man. I'm sure you know that's where this all started.
I'm going to get one and probably start messing around breeding them just because, why not? So get something different. If I'm going to want to start doing shows, I'm going to want to have a variety. So
I actually had 2 corns.
Fun to breed too.
When he I guess had his little calibers over there, mine's passed away.
That sucks. You're going to put a gym in the basement of the animal shop.
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking about doing a 2-story building because I want to do like a little reptarium on top and the gym in the downstairs area. So when you come in to get the membership, you can get upstairs and go see the little reptarium thing. I think it'd be cool.
What sounds bad?
Yeah, I mean, sexin and flexin. I mean, like you're a reptile show that likes to lift weights, so why not have a reptile store with a gym below it?
Yeah, Levi.
I know he snakes. Does. I mean, you could tell. I mean, he's in shape. He's buff. I mean.
And then to answer your question, 10 years, man. That honestly, dude, like, what a great question right now, especially in the moment for me. With the issue that I've been facing, man, the person that I'm up against, I'll give it to him, man. Like I said, I'm not scared of him, but I know what he's capable of. He could easily shut me down, smother me, get rid of me. Honestly, I'm not against it, man. I've been thinking about it. Like, I talk to a lot of old heads, dude. I know a lot of old heads that don't fuck with social media, that outdo most of these people that do social media, that are on Instagram Reels and trending and got 300,000 followers and in every fucking corner of the social media. These old heads, man, they got to figure it out. They've been around long enough. They got an established name. They're in almost like an underground market of reptile sales because a lot of people they sell to aren't up here with us.
Right.
This is like one section, and then they're involved in a whole nother section, and then there's different sections. Honestly, man, I'm good with either route, but in 10 years, honestly, I wouldn't mind being there. Like, not having to worry about the social medias and the drama and the nonsense, just being able
that would be nice.
Breathe, sell, and just, mind my own damn business. That's
Amazing Feeders. I think that's who I'm thinking about. He sold his company out. He's in California. And he was doing an interview right when I first got into this. And he's like, I don't have to advertise my snakes because I sell like all the single, hets. And he gave me the idea of going to the animal store, like right from the beginning, go to these shops and, sell them for $25, $30 your misses, the ones you miss on. And that's going to be your bread and butter. And that what he said is you don't have to worry about advertising because he deals with a bunch of old heads that buys his stuff. If they want to work the Het Sunset project, he got into Sunset early and he's feeding them to all these old heads that are around him. And it's just like, it would be nice just to get into a place to where everything that you're making, you're selling, and you don't even have to worry about Morph Market or on a platform trying to take pictures of your animals and stuff. Like, that would be a definitely good thing in 10 years. If I'm there, I'd be happy.
See, that's hard though. Like trying to take pictures of all your reptiles and then post them up. That's hard for me.
See, I didn't know. Smay asked me that question earlier, and I said, dude, I don't know. So I'm glad you got to him, Levi. I'm glad you've seen that.
Oh, yeah, I put, from what I knew, that you could pop them too. So I don't know. I popped mine.
Yeah, I've been straight away from it from some of the OGs, man. They're so, if you're trying to probe them within the first year, or if you're trying to pop them within the first year, like if you don't know exactly how to pop and do it the delicate way, there's a good possibility of injuring the animal, which we obviously don't want to do. Probing is, as long as you do it delicately, it's the most accurate, to be honest with you. And then again, like I had said, visual, you can visually identify colubrids, male or female. It takes time, man. It is such a pain in the ass to learn it. You're going to guess a female and a male, get them crisscrossed, and then you're going to get you're going to get that visualization down after just repetitively doing it, man. I strongly suggest kicking it with somebody that's got a boatload of colubrids and just sitting there with somebody that's veteran, and they'll sit there and visualize it with you, and you'll get it, bro. It comes with time.
Yeah.
I guess 905 said you have to count the scales between the anus and the tip of the tail.
666 said he said anus.
Anus. All right, what is one superpower that you wish you could have?
Man, just to be strong. That's all.
Like Hulk strong, like throw a car 100 feet in the air.
Man, like Superman strong, pretty much, because that's what I, the
story. He wants to be Superman strong. Hell yeah. Levi, what about you?
That's a good one, man. I don't know.
I want to be invisible because I could get whatever I want invisible. Like it's cool and invisible. And I can just go get whatever I want.
Yeah, but if you did that and you drank something, they'll see you.
Well, I mean, okay, what are you going to do? Stop some floating milk going down? Like, what the hell is that? You're going to run anyways. So, all right, I'm going to go grab a stack of money from the bank, and what are they going to do? There's floating money. Holy shit, what is that? I'm running. So, I mean, I hope they run.
May says immortal, but I wouldn't want to be immortal. I would want to die eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that would be heartbreaking to watch your kids grow up and die, and watch your grandkids die, and then you're still there. Just, that would be a rough one.
I would have to say superpowers, man. The ability to communicate with animals, be able to talk to them.
That would be neat.
Can't do.
Yeah, that would be neat. I mean, I'm a firm believer that, we just don't know how to read them, but trees have a language that speak to each other. All plant life, communicates. There was a study that was done, like they cut this plant down in the middle of all these other plants, and they measured the energy, and all these other plants started transferring more energy to that plant that was damaged. And it's like it's a whole ecosystem, like a forest that supports each other. And I mean, that would be pretty cool to understand all that.
That's kind of like that movie. Have you ever seen The Happening?
Yeah.
It's just like that. Like, the plants are talking to everybody, make them do shit. Well, they make the people do shit. They make them kill themselves. That's what happens. But
nature on the comeback.
Yeah.
So, what is one thing that you wish you could teach people that don't like reptiles about our animals?
They're not as bad as they think they are.
They're not monsters.
They're not monsters. Yeah. Everybody makes them out to be monsters, and they're not.
They're pets. They're different from a wild snake. If you go out and catch one in your yard, it's going to act totally different from the ones that I got in them tubs in there.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. That's a good point. Did not think of that way, but yeah, got it.
I would have to say I'm going to go more the conservation side of things and the importance that they play to the ecosystem in our everyday life. Because the captive bred animals, like they're easier to protect than the ones in the wild. You can stop somebody from killing your snakes. You can't stop somebody from going on a rattlesnake roundup. And
right.
Any venomous animal for that matter, any animal they find scary. I would like more knowledge onto the importance that they play to our ecosystem and what we benefit from the snakes. There's a lot that people just don't know. Like the Sonoran coral snake plays a huge role in medical science. Western diamondback venom plays a huge role in science. There's so many snakes out there that play a role to medical science. And people don't know because they don't get educated. They're just scared of the animal, or they're taught that it's an evil demonic creature and they kill it.
Right.
The importance in the ecosystem that it plays. You got a rat problem? Well, you probably shouldn't have killed the snake in your yard.
Exactly. what is one piece of advice that you wish you could go back and teach your 18-year-old self?
Slow down on buying reptiles. Don't jump all head first like I did. For real, because had I known like I was gonna fall in love with retics or milk snakes or whatever I was gonna get into next, like I would have done things completely different. You know, I would have
Right.
started with a retic first, maybe.
I actually think I started out pretty good. I mean, I got better, I got way more females, and I got chance to hit, these triple recessive snakes. I bought all hats, I invested heavily in recessive, and I think I did right. I mean, I could have did a little better, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I would have bought better males, because my mind set going into this is I can make my males first year, and really get myself dialed in, and I'm not buying super expensive snakes, and so I bought the cheaper males with the idea of making my male the first year to get my process down.
See, so what I did is I went and buy like hard hitting like Morse first. Like I spent money. Like no lie, my most expensive snake is probably 2,500
Right.
for a ball python, and I could have like spent it on something else.
My most expensive male I paid $350 for. Like, just for instance, like I didn't pay a lot for these snakes, but if I sent you a list, you'd be like, well, damn, you didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I didn't do perfect. I could have got visuals and had better odds, but I kind of wanted to make it, I wanted to make my own males. I wanted to make my own bangers. We'll see how it works.
Well, I got
a one we're traveling.
What are you going back and teaching your 18-year-old self?
Don't be a dumbass. Stay out of
Don't
trouble.
be a dumbass. Don't be a dick. Hell, you can go back tomorrow and tell yourself that.
Nah, for real, I tell myself to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all could have used that.
Yeah, that too. I would probably tell myself to calm down, because like I was everywhere, man. Like I was into
far is beyond me.
For real. Like I was everywhere. Like that. The whole reason I got this tattoo right here, the Superman one, was because up here I have a scar where I got electrocuted through, and then I've been in a car crash. I've been in a coma for 6 months, and stuff like that. So that's the whole reason I got that tattoo.
Hey, we live, we learn. We live, we learn. How much you learn is pending on how much you live. If you live, you learn.
I would tell myself like, "Hey, don't do that. Don't go there. Don't do this. Don't do that." But eventually he's still gonna do whatever he's gonna do.
He's got to learn to become who you are now.
Yep, we learned, and that's what makes us who we are today.
Exactly. So, would you rather go back in the past to tell that to yourself, or would you rather know the future? So you could change it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, that sucks.
See, I answer this question real easy. I would rather know the future, because I would go ahead like tomorrow and then see the Powerball numbers for that $1.1 billion jackpot and then come back today and play them numbers and be all the better. I mean, so mine's always going to be that answer, because I think that's a great way of doing it. I mean, I would have hit the $1.5 billion last week. I would hit the $1.1 billion tomorrow, and I would be, hooking everyone up, because if that runs out, I'm just going to hit the other one. It's coming up next week.
You'd be set. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would want to know the future. I want to go back to my past. My past is going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I am who I am now. I kind of like who I am. I wish a couple things were different.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. Can I go with a not so stock answer and say neither and just leave it alone?
Yeah. I mean, if you are right where you want to be and you don't want to know what's ahead or fuck what's behind, sure, why not?
I'd have to say, man, the past is the past, and then knowing the future, man, I just feel like I'd screw it up. I'd fight so hard to either change something or get it that end up altering what it's supposed to be. And like, I don't know, like the movies teach us, man. We're not supposed to know.
Right. Well, like I said, I would go do stupid little things that don't have play on effect on things. Like, Powerball or Mega Ball numbers. I wouldn't want to really know what happens in my life. I would just go and do things to make this life a little better.
Yeah.
So we're at an hour and we're nowhere near finished with the questions. You guys want to go on or?
Oh yeah, bro. Chris is known for his 3-hour fucking podcasts.
It's a simple thing. I like to keep it short. I mean, if they want to go, we go. But someday in 6-7 months, I might want to have you back on. And, you know, I didn't keep you guys long. It's an hour. You know, if you want to jet, you jet. If not, you come back on.
I'm good. Whatever the co-host wants, I'm good.
I'm good. We can keep going for a little bit more if you want to go like an hour and a half.
Cool. We should be able to get through these in a half hour. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on if we come up on a topic that we go off on again. I mean, I always forget. I wanted to shout out to
Ball
in Hand. I got a shirt from them. I always forget to shout people out. Last week, I forgot to shout out this dude. I won one of his contests and won a shirt. Buddy Big's Adventure. He's like one of them treasure hunter, magnet fishing guys. That I won a T-shirt from him. And then last night on Celtic Balls, I won a Sugar Skull shirt and sticker pack. So I got that coming too. I've been killing it on these free shirts.
That's badass.
Heck yeah. I
did F&A balls. They had a giveaway and I jumped in there and I was just like playing around, right? Just kept answering the questions or, you know, hashtag whatever, throwing the hashtag in there. Right. And I had a bad day that day. So I was like, man, I ain't going to win nothing. So I left and I started our podcast. Our podcast came on. They jumped into the podcast and were like, you won a pair of snakes from Bomb Projects. So I got 2 pairs. Wow. Yeah.
From Bomb. You got a good prize too. Heck yeah. That's what's up.
Shout out to the homie KG, bro.
Yeah, KG. I mean, that guy's for the community. I mean, we all need to kind of be like KG. He's not sitting out here calling anyone out and trying to ruffle the feathers. You know, we just all need to get along. Where was I at? All right. What is one animal, money not an issue, that you would just like to add to your collection?
Go ahead, Chris.
Mine's a white lip.
I was going to say that too, but since you said that, I'll just go with the indigo.
I didn't know you was going to say that. I'm just saying they're cool. Those things are cool.
White lips are sick.
Yeah, the white lips are sick, but I like the indigos.
Hey, shout out to MJ and his all the pythons. If he sees this,
MJ ain't gonna be watching my show. What you talking about?
He might, man. I'm on the show. He might. But I know he's going. But if he comes back or rewatches it, that'd be fucking hilarious. Man, that's it. That's a deep inside joke between me and him. It's all pythons.
I mean, I think people like MJ are good for the community. I mean, I know he's controversial, but I mean, the dude puts a lot of work into what he does, and you got to respect that side of it. I disagree with some of the things he does, but you know, he's either one of them guys you're going to love or you're going to hate. And I'm just kind of in the fence on it. Sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't, but that don't mean I'm going to call out and say anything that I don't like about the guy on a live thing. You know, I kind of, you know, he's just his person. I'm not going to disagree with anything. I'm on the fence with it. You know, sometimes I like his conversation, sometimes I don't.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, that's it's yeah, we're not all, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know.
He's not my cup of tea. That's the way I put it the first time. It's funny you said that because the first time it came up, that's exactly what I said. He's just not my cup of tea.
Respect, man. And that's how it needs to be, man. If that's, you know, that's you are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to how you feel. Not another fucking person on this planet can tell you what your opinion is and what your feelings are. It is what it is. And you are free in America to speak your fucking piece, bro. And I support it 100%. Whether I agree with it or not, that's not my fucking problem. I love the way that Ray said that. It's not my problem what you think of me. My problem is what I think of me. If I am good with me, if I am good with what I'm doing, at the end of the day, that's the only thing we can control is us. So shout out to the homie Ray, Luring Serpents, bro. I seen his post. I hope you're doing well, bro. I hope it's just some schedule conflicts, but that's the homie. I love Ray. Shout out.
Good dude.
So Levi thinks himself as a toddler, so he's good.
What motherfucker?
I said you think as yourself as a toddler,
As
so
a
you're okay.
toddler?
Yeah, because you'd be sitting in your chair kicking your legs like a little toddler.
Hey, fuck you, all right? Anyways, to answer that animal question, I guess if I had to pick a reptile, man, that's a tough one. I asked that question and I never know how to answer it myself. Because there's so many freaking reptiles out there that
I mean, I've seen some green tree pythons coming out that just make me go, "Oh, how can I not want that?" You know, I mean, I don't think I could take care of one of them right now. I just don't have enough experience, and I'm not going to try to take on anything that I'm going to kill.
I was that close to getting one too, Ken, but the guy had to pull out because his collection started going.
You know what, man? If I had to add one animal right now in this moment for this answer at this time, it would be the Boa Sigma pieds. Not the Central Americans, the Boa Sigmas.
See, you know a lot more about boas than me. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me either, bro.
It looks a lot more like the ball python pied than a boa. So there's the shout out to Constrictor Capital, the homie Michael, killing it. Shout out to his pied project. I love it. It's a great project. But, man, I think we're both equally as excited for the Sigmas to hit because it looks like that traditional pied look to it, man. And in a boa at 7 foot, 8 foot long. Oh, bro. Maybe a little bit smaller because of Sigma. I hope that they get bigger, but, dude,
I want to change my answer now. I want to go with the Brazilian rainbow pied. Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Bro, I love those things.
Out of all the pies you could have chose, you're going to choose those, bro?
So
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Just mute Chris, bro. It's okay.
I got to say this about pieds. Do you know like what a retic side pied looks like?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so I was at a show, and it was a Suma, black pastel, GHI, leopard, and there was something else, blackhead. And all mixed together, and it looked like retic side pied, but all black and white and a ball python. It came. Cool. The saddles came down like halfway, all the way down, and the whites wrapped up halfway. It was an amazing snake. Like, I'm going to try to throw some dark jeans and pied and see if I can hit something that amazing someday. But I mean, amazing. The most amazing pied I've ever seen in any animal. Because you can't really do it in a ball python. Like, you have to add like 6 or 7 genes and have a super, and I don't know. I think maybe, but it was cool.
They all got to mix together right now. I feel you on that. But again, man, you got to do that to keep it in a size manageable snake. I've played around with adding another mainland. If I do, it's going to be a pied or a cow, one of the two.
Now, see, I wanted to mention this too, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys. And we got back when you was talking about retics and super dwarfs. One of the first Morph Market news articles I covered and went over was that Morph Market made it harder to mark something as a super dwarf. Like, you had to be able to prove that both parents are super dwarfs before Morph Market is going to let you advertise it as a super dwarf. So, I mean, I think that is going to stop a lot of the confusion. But what are they doing to make you prove it? I mean, they said you have to prove it, but I mean, are they just taking a small, dwarf or not super dwarf, like, because they didn't feed it right or something and making it look as small? Because can you really tell? It's just the size of it. Is there a pattern difference?
There's going to be paperwork that goes behind it. There's going to be photo. So the reason that Morph Market, if I was in Darian's shoes, the reason that he did this is because you're going to get somebody like Eric Lee, and then you're going to get some schmuck on a Facebook group. You're going to have Eric Lee that's got photos, that has paperwork, that can tell you the fucking goddamn tooth count on each goddamn super dwarf because he's so specific in what he does and loves what he does and is passionate. And that's what they're looking for, is that paperwork, the photos, the documentation. And then you're going to get the schmuck on Facebook, the bottom mainland, that's now trying to pass it off as a super dwarf, or somebody that's breeding super dwarf mainlands, because, again, whatever the fuck they want to try to label them as, it has no paperwork, no photos, no paper trail, no nothing. You ask Eric Lee, where did that baby come from? He's going to tell you about mom. He's going to tell you about dad. He's going to show you photos. He's going to show you paperwork, the date of birth, the size of mom, the size of dad, the size of grandma, the size of grandpa, the size of grandma before that, grandpa before that, where the lineage start, all of it. And every truly great super dwarf breeder is going to be able to do that. And that's really what the morph market is trying to do. And I support it, man. It has been needed for so long because you got people that do pair mainlands together and then they slap a super dwarf label on it. And there's so many people coming into it that here, you know, they know enough about Garrett Hartle or Eric Lee, Retic Lounge, Lucas, you know, the people that are really pushing the great projects and aiming to give you that quality super dwarf. They hear enough from them, but they don't hear enough from them to know exactly to the T what they need. So super dwarf, morph market's trying to do that, trying to offer that part of it because it's so important, man. It's good meeting you, man. Shout out to Smay and his corn snakes. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and like someone gave him that snake, like gave him them snakes. Like, I guess he adopted them, like he rescued them, sort of. And within 2 months, that female laid for him. And
that's fucking cool.
First clutch, first everything. So I mean, he was kind of like, oh shit, what to do? But he walked through it, and he's got 14, you know, viable corn snakes, and they're all pretty cool looking. Like the one has a skull pattern on the head. It's pretty cool. You'll see them.
So you can't genetically like test it to be like, oh, this is super dwarf. Is that what they're asking for too?
No, they're not able to genetic test it. Basically, what they're saying is you have to, if you're going to sell it on Morph Market anyways, as a super dwarf, you're going to have to prove that the male and the female that it came from was a super dwarf. I mean, I'm sure there's people that's going to lie. At least Morph Market is making an attempt to, you know, make people show. You know, I don't know if it's paperwork. I'm guessing if it's that big of an issue, because I don't know retics. I mean, you're well more rounded in retics than I am. I mean, if they have paperwork, there's going to be no questions, you know. But, I mean, if you just have a photo, I'm sure you got to do more than a photo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's so. We've touched on it a lot tonight. So let me lay it out there for anybody that's watching this podcast or watches this podcast and you want to get into super dwarfs. I'm going to tell you how to do it the right way. First and foremost, stop. Don't look at super dwarfs on Morph Market. Don't look at Facebook. Don't do nothing. Reach out to Garrett Hartle, Eric Lee, MJ at the Trap Talk Podcast. Reach out to Lucas at the Retic Lounge. Reach out to
Lab Exotics.
CMB Lab Exotics. Sorry, the Retic Lounge. Whatever. People know for both. Shut up. Reach out to Bill at CMB Reptile. Reach out to these veteran super dwarf breeders that are in the industry, that have put snake to snake, that are working the projects, and they have a passion to do it the correct way, and have them mentor you. Ask questions. Learn everything that you can about the snake, then make your purchase, because by the time you get done talking to Eric, MJ, Garrett, Bill, Lucas, any of these true super dwarf breeders, you are going to know exactly what you're looking for. And that segue that Morph Market is trying to offer to stop the mainlands getting passed off, you're going to be able to call it out. You're going to ask all the right questions to the person you're buying the snake from, and you're going to do it the right way. That's really where it starts, and it's the only way to do it the right way is having somebody that does it the right way mentor you. And honestly, if you're trying to skip all the bullshit, cut right to the chase. Buy one from them. I promise you, you will not go wrong with Eric Lee, Garrett Hartle, Bill at CMB, Lucas, MJ. They're all veteran super dwarf breeders, and they're out to prove the super dwarf project correctly. And they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you everything. They're not going to hide anything. They're not going to admit it. You're going to get what you pay for.
Right. Yeah. If you're going with an experienced breeder that's going to back it up with anything that they can, that's always a good way. But of course, it's going to drive up the price. But what do you think DG is going to do in ball pythons? Like if you have to sell this snake and people's going to want it tested, DG is going to kind of go up. That at least the tested ones, and that's going to make the non-tested ones go down, I feel.
Yeah,
I
guess. I don't know. I've seen both results from the market doing different things. I don't know. That's a tough one because you still got enough breeders out there that will roll the dice on heads that are untested, and that's what they like. They like to play the lottery. And then you got the ones that, they'll definitely pay a few more bucks to get one that's proven. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as like buying a virgin female and a proven female. You know, some people are going to go for the virgin for their own reason, and some people are going to go for the proven for their own reason. And it is what it is.
I wanted to buy baby snakes and raise them because I was new and I didn't want to handle an adult snake, right off the bat. I wanted to start with babies and watch them grow and get them to know me. So I'm not just handling some strange snake that don't know me. And I think it worked. Yeah, well, I mean, from what I know of super dwarfs, they're going to grow as big as you feed them. If you feed them more often, they could get 12 feet. I mean, but if you feed them what they need to, survive and keep them small, you kind of got to underfeed them in a way, to keep them small. I mean, if you think about it.
You got to keep them on a strict diet.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to have one, like, planned weekly meals or whatever.
That's another subject we talk on. It's just overfeeding snakes in fucking general, man.
Like with Lucas at Lab Exotics, I've holded snakes. They're all like 12 or 11 feet. Is dwarf retics.
And see, that's a misconception that people have out there, right? Is that the super dwarf is going to be like a real small snake. It's going to be ball python size. And yes, one out there may exist, but that's the exception to the rule. You can't count on that. You have to. Even to get into super dwarves, you have to have the experience with bigger snakes. You have to have worked with boas. You have to have worked with white lips, olives. Have your hands on some of the bigger species to know what you're up against. And that's my best piece of advice, again, is reaching out to this list of breeders and finding a mentor. If somebody's in your state or somebody's local, that you can hang out with some of these animals, get your feet wet, get hands on. You don't learn any way better than that. Get hands-on with somebody that knows exactly what the hell they're doing. And again, it doesn't have to be the big names I listed. Those are just people I'm cool with that I know. Well, I don't know Garrett on a personal basis, but the rest of them I do.
Right. My rat guy also has venomous and stuff, and he says whenever you're ready to dip your toes in, I'll teach you how to handle them correctly. So when I get to experience, I'm going to have my glove on and a hook and mess with them, but he's got two insanely looking gaboon vipers. I mean, I can't even tell you the colors. They're like maroon, gray, blue. I mean, I don't know. Them things are insane. One looks like it's got maroon and white marbling through it. It's just they're awesome. I got videos of them. You can't really see them because they're hiding so well.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous animals.
Yeah, it's based on locality the super dwarf retics. It's all in locality and what island they was basically from. Give children's python, right?
Those are small, though. Those are super small.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's mainly locale. Well, some of it's locality based, some of it's not, depending on what you're working with. Because you can get percentages of Calistoa, you can get percentages of Jamp, you can get percentages of Slayer. It just depends. Right. Again, there's so many things that go into the equation of the size of the animal. Best practice, expect a mainland. Anticipate that you're going to have a mainland size snake, and whatever your snake size ends up is how it's going to end up.
Teammates makes them out.
Because again, I mean, I held Jeremiah. Jeremiah is just shy of 11 feet, and that's a fucking powerful snake still, man. It is like holding a small mainland. They
if you're starting out with a mainland, you can make a mainland smaller. You can't go any smaller than a super dwarf, correct? I mean, that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah. Right. Shit, man. You got people out here like Wildfire that are on the opposite spectrum that are trying to find the locality retics that are massive. Like, is I believe 22 or 23 foot female.
No, thank you.
A fucking beast. Love that snake. Love watching him handle her. I would eventually want to. I wouldn't mind getting into, like, if I really got into mainlands, like owning them as pets. I'll never breed them, but like if I got one, I would want another one. If it's not a pied, I'd want a monster. I'd want that big ass female. God, man, I'm telling you, if you guys don't follow Wildfire Retics, go follow him. Watch him work with his retics, man. They're gorgeous. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that, again, his monstrous females, man, it's just second to none watching somebody work with those animals. It's so incredible.
That's Weston, right? Weston?
Yeah, Weston. Shane Costello, too, doesn't he have? Shane Costello, I want to say, has some monsters.
I mean, I don't know how to answer that 666, but I mean, there are different localities coming out, here and there that they're coming up with. It's always advancing. There's always something new coming out, and that's coming from import. And if we're not allowed to import these things, that's going to stop.
Well, we're technically not allowed to import.
We're not like that. You're not allowed
but
no more.
They still do it. Yeah.
No, just like you're not allowed to import the Australian species, but there are people on the forefront that have either found a workaround or do things to. They pay a sacrifice to do what's needed for the hobby.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not. That's a side of the industry I am not willing to speak on because it is not my place. But they do what they got to do, and it keeps us alive. That's all I'm going to say. It keeps us going. I know
what Gio said. What Gio said in the comments right now about if you want something with girth, get a short tail. Or I would say a blood.
Short tail is a blood fool.
No, like the T positives or the Matrix.
Yeah, those are short tail.
Those are all short tails. Oh,
yeah. The short tail python's a family. What is it? Sumatran, blood, and it's not Guyana. God damn it! Somebody out there has another third one. And I believe there's even more than that too when you like really, really start to break it down. And again, Ken, this is where it gets fun though, right? Like we're hyper focusing on the super doors, but it's just because it's a hot topic. What I would like to do in the industry and see change is like we just start discussing more species overall, like the short-tail pythons, more of the colubrid species out there. You want a snake that can answer a retic that's you're gonna have your hands full with, that's not as up there in extremes as a retic can be. Fucking false water cobras, man. Intelligent, they're big, they've got some girth on them, and you are going to have your hands full working with that animal, but it's a fun experience. It is so much fun working with false waters.
I just got to get the experience of these ball pythons before I go anywhere else. I'm not jumping into nothing until I feel comfortable with these things.
Hey, Levi, what is that other bull that can get pretty big too in girth? It's the red tail, right?
Yeah, the true reds, the boa constrictor.
Okay, then that's what I was thinking of because I saw one at the expo and I thought it was a blood, so that's why I was like blood.
No, they're a lot longer than the blood species are, and they're hardy, man. They're big, thick animals, but they're so beautiful. Oof. And then again, it comes down to locality too. Some of the true reds are smaller, some of them are bigger.
All right, so let's get through these last couple questions. We got 8 minutes left. What is one animal that you would like to hit with your animals you have today?
Man, I would pure anery because I can hit that with these two retics that I got, these SD retics. So my female's 50% and my male's 100%.
Heck yeah, so I'd like to see that prove out. That'd be nice.
So yeah, I know. I'm reading the comments too, bro. They're funny. Did you see where Gio put? Oh, you want to get a piece of Chris's girth, Bosa?
Whoa!
Look right there.
Yeah. Y'all save that for OF. All right. Anyways, I want to hit on the super hypo Abby visual aneries in my boas.
Nick, you can keep that one-eyed boa in your pants. We don't care about the one in your trousers.
I didn't even say that. It wasn't even me. It was that guy over there in the comments.
Chris was trying to whip his out on camera. We have to tell him.
No, I don't. Don't lie. He's lying.
On the show. No wieners on the show. We already had one wiener, and I had to delete it, so no more.
Actually, that happened to somebody. Didn't that happen to Kirby?
It happened to me. It happened to Ball Python Love twice. They got him twice.
Wow.
I think Cole Walsh had it happen to him, and someone else too. But there was a thing with someone going around wienering people.
But that's because they were dropping the link in the comments. That's why I don't do that shit. Yeah.
Thank you, 905.
Yeah, so I stopped doing that. Like, I mean, if I have an open panel, I will, but you have to show a picture of yourself, and I have to know you, really, to come up. All right, so, what is one thing? All right, what is one thing these animals had taught you that you didn't expect them to do in the beginning?
Patience.
That's a good one, because I've learned some patience for sure from them.
Yep, to have patience. I mean, pretty much. I mean, doesn't matter what you do, you still have to have patience with them. Either they're
Right.
gonna be feisty as fuck when you get them, like a boa. I've had a boa. I had a Hog Island boa, and it was feisty as hell. And then she never wanted to calm down. They just kept telling me to work with her. Every time I tried to put my hand in there, man,
Right.
she wouldn't calm down until like one day she just came on out and let me pick her up. But then after that, she like passed away like a couple of weeks later. She regurgitated and just stopped eating. And
That sucks.
yeah. So reptiles, I would say patience. Yeah.
Say humbleness. These animals are going to humble you.
Yeah.
Oh, they for sure have done that too. I mean, hell yeah, I respect both of them answers. All right, and then the last question we have is: if you were stuck on a deserted island, name 5 people that you would like to be with you.
Oh, God. I was so ready for this one, and now I'm not. Chris, you go.
I'm gonna go with Levi, Bosa, Gio. That's 3, right?
Yeah.
Elias and I don't know. Probably Montana.
We're all dead. We're gonna die. I'm sorry. The other 4 on that list, we're all fucked. We're all gonna die.
Oh yeah, the other 4, yeah, definitely. But Montana, she has
So the
survival
first
skills.
one of mine would be like one of these survivalists on the shows, like Cody Lundeen or something, like one of these, dual survivor guys. So they can teach us all what the fuck to do. And like maybe a woman, so, I could have fun with occasionally. And so there's 3 other dudes. I mean, I don't know. They could watch me have fun all the time.
Well, I wasn't thinking of it
fucking
like
blame
that.
you guys on for where my mind went on that one.
Right?
Speak out on it, dude. Where did your mind go? I mean, we want to know.
4 dudes and 1 chick, man, on a deserted island. I'm sorry, and especially the person he chose.
All right, well, maybe
she's gonna fucking shoot you. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, I know that. She could probably fight you too, bro.
I ain't fucking scared of her. She coming to Arizona. She kiss my ass. I'm scared of Montana. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna fucking run.
Yeah, you better run. Yeah.
All right. So 5 people with me on a deserted island. First and foremost is Chris, because he's got the most muscle. We killing his ass first. We're gonna live off of him. I'm bringing MJ for the comedy, and so I can torture his ass for the rest of our days, because he got to put up with me on an island. I'm bringing my wife, bruh. Got to bring her, because without her, I'm gonna end up dead. Ain't no lie. I'm bringing Boza, because Boza gonna bring the drinks. And I'm bringing Gio, because Gio, I don't know what the fuck Gio's gonna do. He probably gonna be like, what's his name on the fucking Hangover?
You gonna talk shit, dude?
He's gonna be talking shit the whole time from the smoke of it. What he's been doing in the show, he's just gonna be talking shit the whole time.
He is.
What's his
You
name?
already
The one
know
that
he
roofies
is.
everybody. Gio definitely gonna be the one that roofies everybody.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
He definitely ain't cool enough to be Dr. Chow.
He's gonna mix up the bag of marshmallows on purpose.
I see Bosa like that guy from what's his name? Tattoo, right? From Fantasy Island.
I'm not sure.
He's like the doctor, I think, or something. Taking care
I
of.
don't know about
I don't
Fantasy
know.
Island. I'm lost.
It's a show.
Good job, Chris. You confused the host.
What? My bad. I thought he seen that.
No, I don't know nothing about no Fantasy Island. I don't know.
I was like, it's like
Is
a
that one of them
80s movie. 80s
Oh, it's a movie? I thought it was one of these new reality TV shows where they got a bunch of exes on there trying to hook them up with other people.
Oh no, definitely not that. It's an actual movie. It's a comedy
sounds like
too.
some shit that Chris would be into, though. I'll tell you what, that sounds.
Well, the only reason I watched it is because my dad, back
not
then.
the Fantasy Island show, the one Ken was talking about.
Oh, maybe.
It's all like
I don't know what it's called. I just see the commercials for it. Like the Big D, I think it's called, or something like that.
What the hell?
I'm serious. It's got something to do with the Big D. I mean, on the Big D, or
yes.
I've never
I'm not
even heard
sure.
of
But
that.
it's really provocative and perverted. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my god,
Oh my
the
god, this
big
live
D.
is
All right.
lit. I
Speaking of
fucking
Big
love
D's,
this.
we got a couple quickie questions that we would like to end the show on.
Let's do it.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Pepsi.
I'm a
Fucking
Pepsi guy.
gross.
BK or McDonald's?
BK.
Shoot me first.
I'm not a fan of either. But
I mean, I don't like McDonald's. BK, yeah.
Skydiving or no way?
Skydiving.
Skydiving.
So you're at a family function, like a wedding, wedding thing. What are they called? Reception, wedding reception. Are you dancing, not dancing, or slow dance only?
I'm doing something insanely stupid. I can tell you that right now because I'm known to do that.
I'm jumping around acting like an idiot, dancing, kind of, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm not dancing.
But,
I'm pointing and laughing at Ken. I'm the hype man.
no, you're the hype man? All right. I'll accept that.
Levi,
And
you don't
the
dance?
last one is, what is
No, I
one
don't.
all-time game show that you would like to have been a contestant on?
Oh shit. Fear Factor.
Yes, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Actually, that would be cool.
Come
God
on with your own
damn it.
answer.
I was gonna say of that show that goes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I mean, mine's same every week. It's got to be The Price is Right with Bob Barker. I mean, it was an all-time show. I watched it when I was this little, and now Drew Carey, just don't cut it. Bring Bob Barker back. Clone his ass, something.
Let's go.
He got old
Facts.
quick too.
Like, it was like he was fine and like Happy Gilmore, and then like 2 years after that, it was like, man, damn, you're old.
Yeah, but he could fight. So,
Knocked Adam Sandler out.
right? So I would probably want to be like, probably do Price is Right too, just to fight Bob Barker.
I think you
like
can take him now. He's a little.
I don't know. I think he
Yeah,
may give
right.
me a
I'm
run.
handing him a bet.
Back then, I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, just a fun fact, Ken. If you can make it to Arlington, you should come to Arlington because I'm gonna put Chris through a fucking table, WWF style. He
Oh
thinks
yeah,
I'm
in
playing,
September he
but it's
thinks
gonna happen.
that's not gonna happen. We need
Oh,
a table
wow.
first of all, so I'm gonna have to buy a table just to
I'll
break
put you
it.
through MJ's table. I don't give a fuck.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if I can make that work. I might have to come, like, just to see that. I mean, I'll drop an elbow through the table, just the table, like, to drop an elbow through it. Don't even got no one be on it.
Wait, hold up. Who's tag teaming? Oh, it's me and Josh tag teaming you and his buddy.
Oh,
That's
bro,
right.
Me and Travis gonna fucking whoop that.
I'll put on a
Yeah.
referee shirt. I'll ref.
I think
All
he's
right,
bringing
guys.
the mats.
Who's bringing a match?
Josh
All right.
from
Well, we're at
SB
an hour and
Reptiles.
a half. We made it through the show. It was a little longer tonight. I got to say, you guys have been really interesting. This has been great. I love the material that we put out tonight. I appreciate you coming on. People in the chat, you're awesome. Levi, Chris, floor is yours. Say your goodbyes. Whatever you want to say, shout outs. Go ahead.
Of course, I'm gonna shout out our sponsors.
I don't
Because
have sponsors yet.
Oh, right here. Ship Your Reptiles and CMB Reptiles. Only because they always ride with us. And SB2, Josh. Josh is one of our sponsors. Shout out Josh. And who else?
Bruh, shout out to the OG, the first to believe in us, Reptile Crew. Shout out to the homie Johnny. If you don't got the merch, get the merch. Eden, if you could plug that man's IG for me in the chat one time, bro, so people know where Reptile Crew is. I will be seeing him at Pomona. Then I will be seeing him again here and then possibly at Arlington. Check the content to come. Ken, if you don't know who Johnny is at Reptile Crew, bro, go check him out. Honestly, sickest reptile merch in the game. Just
I
not
will
just
be
that.
looking for a merch dealer soon. And that's all coming.
Dude, Johnny's just a good person, man. Like they're genuine souls on this planet, and Johnny is one of them, man. Johnny is such.
See, that makes me want to go with him because I like good people. I just like good people.
Yeah, Johnny's your man then.
he's going to be here in the next year or two. He's going to be at every show. Stop by his table, talk to him, man. Just get to know him as a person away from the business side of it, man. Johnny's such a good fucking dude, man. I love
Elias
that guy.
says Montana is definitely going to kill us. He was behind on the live feed. So definitely going to kill him.
Yeah, definitely. I already knew that.
I'm going to text her right now. I'm like, Chris talking shit.
Tell her, bro. I ain't scared of her.
Wait, I might want to hang out a couple minutes and see if she comes up and from behind or something. Get this shit on live. You might need it.
That would be cool, actually. That would be cool if she did come, but I'm pretty sure she's taking Photoshop. Not Photoshop, photos. A photo shoot.
Her ass is in bed. The fuck?
Is she? She's back? Because I saw she was somewhere else.
Oh,
I don't know.
Eden, I'll get you blue. I'm sorry, I don't got my other phone to turn you blue right now, but I'll go back and turn you blue.
Yeah, I was.
So he can't drop a link. My bad. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, man. It's been a great show.
Hell yeah. You're welcome back anytime. People in the chat. Till next week.
Hell yeah. Laters, guys.